Welcome back. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can add title screens, how you can add captions to your video clips, and how you can add credits to your project. If you haven't watched the first two Movie Maker tutorials, please go back and watch those before you continue with this. Okay, so as you can see, I've already gone through and edited the different clips that I had added into Windows Movie Maker. So now what we're going to do is start to add some of the fun stuff. So the first thing you'll want to do is add a title screen so that there's some sort of an introduction and people know what your movie is about. What you want to make sure is that you're on the Home tab. So you're going to navigate over to the Home tab, and then we're going to look in the Add ribbon. As you can see, there's a variety of different things I can do. I can add videos and photos. Oops, I didn't mean to open it. Let me cancel that. We can add music. You'll come back to a different tutorial for that. You can add webcam video or snapshots, but what we want to do is add a title. So we're going to go to where it says title, and then you can add in this information. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to say Bunger Students Reactions to Bully. You can always go back and edit these, so if you notice up here I can edit the text if I'd like to. So you don't have to stick with the first thing that you've added in there. I can change the background color. So notice now we're in Text Tools, the Formatting tab. I can change the background color. Since mine is about Bunger, I'm going to add purple since that's a school color. And then what we want to do with the text is we want to make sure that we change the font so that we can bring it to the front. There we go. You can always change the type of text that it is, so I'll pick something I think is pretty. I can change the location. If you highlight the text, you can make it bold, italic, you can make it larger or smaller. So you're going to choose a style that you like the most. Here's where you change the color of the font. Again, if you want, you can choose more colors. So I can come here to basic colors, or I can define a custom color by clicking, and then you have lots of different choices. So you'll pick those that you would like. The other things that we can do, is we can adjust the start time and then the duration. So the duration is how long is that going to last? Is it going to be 7 seconds or 5 seconds? You'll decide that by previewing it. And then if I hit play, we start to see that it lasts for 5 seconds. And then it'll go into our movie. If you want to make changes, we come back. Now, what I would like you to notice is here is my text. When you add text, it's going to float, or it'll show up below the video clip that you're using. And if you want to adjust the duration, then we go in and we change what that's going to be. So if I only want the slide to be 5 seconds as well, I double click it and then I can go in to change the duration of that slide. Notice now the text and the slide length are exactly the same. So now that I've added a title page, I'm going to go back to my Home tab, and now what I'd like to do is add some captions. So for this first student, what I can go in and do is add a caption, and we enter the text. So caption's going to show up over our movie. So we're going to type in that this is Morgan. Again, I can change the font color. So if I want it to be white, I can. I can move it. So I'm going to actually move it so it's down into these panes so that it shows up against the black. And I'm going to be consistent and use the same font so that we can see it, and maybe I'll increase the text size. I can change the alignment, so I can align it to the left or to the right. I kind of like having it over on the right hand side, so we'll put it there. Transparency is something else that we can change. Transparency is how see-through the object is. So if I click on this, if I make this completely transparent or see-through, it's difficult to see. Or we can make it opaque, which means that you can't see through it at all. And so you want to be careful about using the transparency, but it is a neat thing to use depending on what your project needs. And then the other thing that we can do that I didn't show you on our title page is we can change the effect. So that's how does the text come in. So if I choose one of these, it's going to show you a preview. You can see how our name enters or exits. So you can choose lots of different ones, and if I expand the menu, I have lots of different choices. So here's contemporary, cinematic. Oh, I think I kind of like that with the little dots on it, so we'll add that one. And now again, if we go back and hit play, we can add that to Morgan's name. And now notice that Morgan shows up under here because that's the text we added. If I select the text and I say Control-C to copy on my keyboard, that's a keyboard shortcut. The other thing I can do on my clipboard is come up here and copy. Then I can go here and I can paste that. Now, it'll go in wherever your scrubber bar was, so, or your placeholder, whichever one. So if I want to move this back, I'm going to move it back. And then I want to go in and edit, so I double click because we know that's not Morgan, so I add the students' names. But the nice thing about this is now when I go to play this one, it'll have the same effect so that it's consistent throughout my movie. So let me just fast forward this a little bit, and then you'll see Hunter's name come in.
I learned that maybe sometimes everything that happens in school isn't always taken care of compared to other schools.
Okay, the last thing that we want to do then is add credits. So if I come up here, notice that there is an expansion arrow. So I can have credits, director, starring, location. We're going to do credits, and it gets added at the end. That makes sense. So here are the credits. We're going to enter our name here. So we can add lots of different information to the credits because it can roll up and down just like on a real movie. So maybe what we say first is videographer is Miss Evanson. Students. And then we could put in parentheses in order of appearance. And then I can say, oops, Morgan, I'm having typing issues. And so on and so forth, and I can add those in. But then what we can do again is we can change the background color. I want to be consistent and choose that purple again. We can go back to our fonts. I want to be consistent with font, so I'm going to choose the same one. I'm going to increase the font size a little bit. And then we have a start time, which it gave us automatically. The duration for credits we may want to be a little bit longer. We'll make it 15 seconds. That might be too long. We can always go back and adjust. And then what we can do is start to preview what it's going to look like. So notice this one is scrolling up, just like credits would. This one they kind of flip down, which is neat. And then again we can go back in and we can see what these ones look like. You want to make sure you have a scrolling one since the credits are so long. So I think I'm going to leave mine with scroll. Now if we go through and watch it, let me move my scrubber bar, there we go.
Going home and doing some research.
And there we see our credits. If you have questions or concerns about how to add in a title, a caption, or credits, you know where to find me. Good luck.